Well, guys, thanks so much for being here at the Lead Gen Underground. Back for another episode here with my buddy Erik Latsha today. This dude is becoming one of my good friends now. I've hung out with him several times and always really enjoy it. Super genuine dude, and he is a real hustler. Erik, talk to us. Just introduce yourself for like 30 seconds. Talk about your business and like how your background, I guess.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Erik Latsha. I am the president of Honest Home Solutions. We've been in business for a little over 2 years now. I've been in real estate for going on 7 years. Started off as just a real estate agent, and then was a buyer's agent for a pretty large investment firm around us, but worked as a retail sales. And then, from there, I became their acquisitions agent / acquisitions manager. Was buying anywhere from about 15 to 25 homes a month. And then, got to a point where I had just plateaued. Didn't really have any advancement opportunities left within the company I was with. Went and opened my own place about 2 years later. And, here we are. Started with 3 people that 2 of my administrative, she's my director of administrations. And then my one actually happens to be my best friend since I was 13, Scott. He's in charge of lead generation and marketing. So we took it from 3 people. The first year we were shooting for, $50,000 months with minimal overhead. And now we have 9 people plus 2 VAs, and, our monthly goals are around 200K. Well, our 200K.
Yeah, man. And so from our last discussions, I know you're even exceeding that number sometimes, which is incredible for the amount of time you've been in business. Go back to your time during being an acquisition agent. And I think I see a bunch of the people on here. I know that's, what they do. They're in acquisitions for themselves or another company, mostly for themselves. Sure. Talk to me about how are you getting 15 to 25 deals a month, dude? That's an incredible feat right there. And there's got to be some sort of system or something behind that really catapulted you to that level of success.
Yeah, sure. So, as an acquisitions manager, that was for another company that, I worked for. And, I did learn a lot from the lead generation side of that. And I think one of the biggest things is, it's tough to say because everybody wants to be a wholesaler, with no money involved in it. And, hey, I'm going to run around and drive them for dollars. And, but honestly, to do that type of volume, you have to spend money. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are scared to spend money and not sure what the return is going to be. But honestly, everybody can put groups, everybody can pay referral fees. Everybody has friends and family that knows what you're doing. But there's a lot of, you can also save some money by doing the legwork on data and different things like that. But the biggest thing is that you need to be able to feed a funnel. Feed a sales funnel that works just like any other, sales business. Pretty much when it comes down to it is you have to have systems and processes in place that start at the bottom and dwindle down until you get to where you need to be at 15 to 20. To get 15 to 20 deals a month. And right now our goal as a company is about 20 deals, but we're doing on average more like 15. We'd like to be buying and selling 20, but a lot of that just goes to really driving leads, and if you don't have somewhere between, 300 to 400 leads a month, it's going to be really hard to produce 15 to 20 deals a month. So acquiring the property, right, is, when people got into this 4 years ago, it was about buying properties, and really, how to get out there in front of the seller and purchase the property and get it done and understand your numbers. If with the competitive market and all the YouTube that's out there right now, if you don't know how to lead gen to get to those 15 to 20 properties or whatever your goal is, it could be 3 or 5, but it's all about lead generation now. You can learn how to buy homes, but it is all about lead generation and the money that's spent there. So to be able to do that, those systems and processes need to be in place, but we have multiple different ways that we attack it at this point. We send about 30,000 postcards a month, which is, outbound mail and different ways like that. We also, pay for data analytics and data services so that we can skip trace, mail, Text has been brutal. I think everybody that's involving in doing that knows that. But doing some cold calling, some outbound phone calls, some driving for dollars. We have a couple cool little campaigns that we're running right now. Is going to be a switch up. I don't exactly know what the results are because we literally, solidified the marketing meeting this morning on some new ideas that we have that I think are going to be advantageous on the back end of COVID. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We can have a conversation about that. I think there's some things that technology has added over time for everybody that's really going to add some solid value on the back end. But yeah, man, to get those deals, you got to have systems and processes, and you got to lead gen, you got to produce leads, and you got to capitalize on them.
Okay, so in terms, I know you're not locking up many deals yourself anymore. You're the big guy running the company. When you were locking up those deals, what set you apart to be able to get that volume? Because there's a lot of people in acquisitions, dude. Of a lot of the people that I talk to, just themselves getting more than 3 or 5 properties a month would be an absolute home run. How are you getting to like double digits?
Sure, that's a good question, and I would first and foremost tell you, beyond that, it's a mindset and work ethic. I hate to use that because it's probably cliche, but I was one of the individuals that would put in, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. I was always chasing that next deal. But your best acquisitions agents and your best commission-based individuals are going to be like that. They're always going to want to go get after it. They're not going to want to leave stuff on the tree. I would go on to Jamaica for a vacation, and I'd get up and answer emails, reply to sellers, and talk to people till about 2, 3 in the afternoon after I had a few drinks, and then I'd put it down till the next day. But I would say that's the first thing is mindset. I never thought there was an objection that I couldn't handle and a seller that I couldn't figure out a way to provide a solution for them. The second part of that is that I was able to provide more solutions than a lot of people that were out there at their property. I was very comfortable talking through a lot of different exit strategies so that I could, really find the objection, what their struggles and challenges, and why they were trying to sell the house, and find that pain point, and evaluate it with multiple different ways to go about the sale. And that's a huge part of adjusting to a seller's needs and being able to close a deal. If you have one way in and one way out, you're going to struggle. There's just because not every seller needs that. If you have multiple ways in and multiple ways out to a seller, you have already walked in there with more opportunity than most people are able to offer them. So that was a big part of being able to do it. And then I would say, just loving on people, man. I truly went in there. I love making money. I think everybody that works hard and loves making money, but I love watching people's face lights up, big smiles, knowing that we actually provided significant value in their lives, and it was a win-win for both of us. And I truly had a heart for that, and truly had a heart for seeing people, happy. So if you can walk in there with that same mindset as well, and it's not about the bottom dollar, you're going to be a lot more genuine when you're direct to seller. And for me, that's a significant difference in a lot of acquisitions agents.
Dude, I love that you led with mindset, because that is one of the things that is, a lot of people will throw that out there, mindset. Like, how do you go from in-person to virtual wholesaling? Mindset, right? How do you go from 5 deals to 10 deals? Mindset. It's all based around mindset. And I feel like I could have almost picked all 3 of your reasons right there that you were good. Because I was going to say you're a hustler, you're great at talking to people, and it seems like you got a good deal of exit strategy. So,
sure.
All that stuff was really good. So talk to me about your exit strategies, because this is something I noticed about you guys is you're not a one-trick pony, just straight up wholesaling like a lot of other people are. What are the exit strategies that are working for you guys? Like, what is bringing home the bread for you?
Definitely. So I'd say first and foremost, our business operates at about 70% wholesale. at this point. Last year, if you would ask me that question, I would have told you it's 95% wholesale, just because getting up and going, it's about cash flow. So if you're running and gunning, unless you're sitting on $1 million when you start, operational cash, our first and foremost is, hey, buy it. You make money buying it, not selling it. So be the best buyers in the game, and you can change the game. So our focus was purely wholesale when we started, and then from there we also did what was called a wholesale / novation. It's a different way that we've had an opportunity for us to deal with a seller. Gives us the ability to either close on that property and literally relist it right away with minimal to no repairs, RTIs and appraisal repairs, which would be reply to inspection if you're not don't understand the retail lingo there. Sorry about that. But so reply to inspections and appraisal repairs and put that back on the market. The other side would be to the novation, which is we don't actually purchase the property. We market the property. We, help the seller get through it. Sometimes we're advancing them cash so they can get onto their picture perfect on the front end, but we handle everything for them. So any repairs that would need done, any customized renovations that the third party would ask for when it's on the market, it just gives that third party a wider range of what a seller's willing to do. And it gives them the seller the opportunity to know what they're getting and be guaranteed a sale in a timely manner. The other side of that would be, we don't want anybody to go to waste. Not everybody's a cash buyer. They might have limited to no equity in their property. There could be a lot of different things that are going on with them that would make it impossible for us to be able to provide them with a cash offer that would actually work for them and work for us. So, we have a retail listing team that we work with that we, if it's not the right fit, we'll take that up right away on the phone and make sure that we get an agent out there to help them with that. Then third is, we're taking on fourth is that we're, starting to get into more rental properties. So landlords that, have a rental property that they are trying to sell, but has a tenant in it. Not as much turnkeys at this time. But we do a lot. We'll take over, a property that's inhabited, which is sometimes a real struggle for a lot of landlords, is they can't sell it because they want to get out, or the people aren't taking care of the place, but they have somebody in it and they don't want to deal with the headaches. So we've been able to provide a lot of landlords with ways out. We will either handle the eviction if they're not paying, or keep them as a tenant and keep the rental property. So our goal is to provide as many solutions as possible throughout the process.
Yeah, that's really good. That's a key differentiator right there. Even when I was going to type up the invite for here, I put Honest Home Buyers, and then I thought, wait a minute, I went and looked, and it's Honest Home Solutions. And I love that because you guys are providing an array of solutions. And I think that's one big thing that sets you guys apart. Locally, do you feel like that's a game changer for you guys in terms of your competitors and what you can provide? And is that why someone might choose you?
Yeah, I would say that, out of a lot of different individuals that do what we do, like I said, nowadays, I think everybody that's acquiring properties knows there's a lot of different individuals out there running around with little to no idea what they're doing, which can be, make it easy for a seller to decide to work with somebody that has a reputable company in the area. But also you're competing with financial decisions. And if they're overpaying for things or locking things up for bigger numbers, that makes it difficult. But all in all, I think that people like to know that you can move and pivot, and that as they throw different objections at you, because, it's not always just one. You might be like, hey, okay, I solved that problem, but now I need to solve the next one. And it might be a whole different route of selling the property because of the second objection. Also just doing things that not everybody does. We offer, to get somebody out sometimes. We have a property right at the end of this month we're going to be making, $35,000 on. It's a great deal. But the tenant's been in there for 6 months without paying. And, we had to walked her through it, talked to her about it. And, I'm giving her on the 30th of this month, I'm cutting her a check for $1,000 and I'm moving her. That's her first month's rent. And I'm moving everything out for free. It's going to cost me, a total of $2,000 on a 35K deal. Hey, we make 33 grand still and keep it moving and nobody else get her out. Landlord didn't have to deal with it. And she's so happy. So, there's just lots of different ways. But a lot of times goes kind of back to that same thing. And it's been a scare for me growing as my business has grown is you need to spend money to make money. And it goes back to lead generation and everything else is all these options that you have. They're not all free wholesales. They're not all no money options. They're not things you might need to invest cash to move somebody or pay them to go or cash for keys program, or no utility liability program, whatever it may take. There's lots of different things that are going on with that need to be taken care of.
Yeah, got it. That's really good. Guys, we're more than halfway through. So if you got questions, start to drop them in the chat right now. I'd love to get to them. Erik, you dropped some really good points there, so I want to recap really quick. But he's got about 4 exit strategies right there that he named off. And then the other thing that I wanted to circle back to is you said last year you were doing 95% wholesale. This year about 75%. And now as a pattern, I've realized, and I've talked to a lot of the best investors that I've talked to are starting to diversify a bit. It's not just 95 or 100% wholesale anymore, especially as the market changes. So I think that's really smart as well that you're diversifying just to make sure that you're shored up. You can make a little bit more money on renovations and not just wholesale.
Sure. Yeah, fix and flips are definitely, you can definitely make more on them. And when you have a strong wholesale business, before you get into the renovation side, you can kind of cherry pick. So you can pick the ones that you're going to make, 45, 50 plus, and then wholesale the rest.
Yeah, exactly. Funny story. I haven't, much like you said 95%. Last year I was 100% wholesale. This year it's been more diverse for sure. I used to fix and flip properties like 3 years ago, and then I stopped, just started wholesaling everything. Well, I know a guy in my market. We're partnering up now, formed our own LLC. I'm bringing the good deals. He's bringing all of the rehab, and we're just going to split. So I'm actually taking the deal that would have been maybe a 25K wholesale fee, and we're going to turn it into will be 100, 160 or so profit on a flip, just because this market.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, so that's good.
That's a fun little trip. Are you guys just splitting straight down the middle or
straight down the middle, baby? I get an assignment. Okay. He gets commission on the back end for selling it as a realtor, bringing equal money to the table, and then just splitting it. So it'll be good.
Okay. Nice. That's freaking awesome.
Yes, sir. So you strike me as a guy that's a fast implementer, right? You get something new. You're like, all right, team, here's the plan. We're going to do this and this and this. And you put into play, like we were talking about a little bit off here before here. So I know you got some sort of intuition coming down of what's coming down the pike a little bit, but how are you preparing for this year? How are you preparing for the next few years in terms of either exit strategies, but more specifically in terms of like lead generation too? What kind of new things are you doing? What are you kind of tapering off on? What are you doubling down on? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah. So hands down, looking ahead to the future is for me like rolling the dice. Don't get me wrong. I always want to watch what I think might be coming ahead. I want to hear what different people have to say. But I'm also going to be 100% honest that like some of the smartest people that I heard talk, 18 months ago or 2 years when I was getting into it, were like, hey, this is the best it's ever going to get, and this is going to be over in 12 months and it's still rocking and rolling. So I'm one of those individuals that believes in, and maybe it's not a great attribute that I have. And sometimes it's live and die attribute, but it's, I try to be proactive, but I'm also very good at being reactive because I'm willing to implement quickly and adjust what I'm doing. I still believe, mail is my biggest ROI. Without a shadow of a doubt, it is what it is. Most my deals come from there. It's postcards work. It's a way to reach somebody. And though, the percentages are down on all, if you're willing to spend the money to send them, there's money there and there's deals there. I believe text messages, talking to some different people are really on the backside. They're starting to regulate in some states pretty heavily. I don't even, can't tell you the last really good deal I've got off of a text message. But we have gotten some solid leads off of cold calls. We're doing a good job with analyzing and redirecting funds within our data, and really breaking down our data and what that looks like, and really to a T of motivation factors and how many different things, so that we can make sure that we're not just mailing a whole bunch of people that really don't fit our block. And we'd rather cover, a lot more space, and hit people that fit where we're at, or where we're seeing the highest ROI at, based on the data that we're coming through. So we're ready for whatever might happen. I mean, we understand it's a buy low, sell high business. So if the bottom of this thing finally tanks out, I'll be, loading up on rentals as well. Just like anybody that's, thinking buy and hold at this point. But really for my business, I'm going to keep just chugging along. I believe, if you follow the market and continue to buy, I haven't really fluctuated too much on making way higher offers because ARVs are going up. I think we'll just continue to move. I think there's going to be some crazy changes when, the foreclosures and things really do come to the end, and what's happening with some of the banking issues and all this money that's just being distributed for free. But other than that, I'm ready to react. But on the marketing side, we got some really cool stuff coming up. I would love to be like, hey, this stuff's gonna work, and like tell you about it, but I don't know if it's gonna work. But we got some really cool stuff. We're doing a referral based program that I think is going to be pretty wild, with some really, really not high returns for some different individuals. We're really getting into, I think the pandemic has changed the game on QR codes, which I don't think anybody is really using at a high level. I think, but all these old people now understand how to use their phones to look at a menu in a restaurant. So to be able to have a direct, access to our website without having to type it in on some different things, postcards and different things that, we're going to make a run at that and see what that looks like. We're just trying to, always be thinking outside the box. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. Everybody does a lot of the same stuff. If you can be the first to something in this game, hey, welcome to it. Everybody's going to do it once you do it anyway, if it works. But if you can be the first to it, you're going to get the most touches on it, and then you're on to the next thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, we're almost kindred spirits in that realm, because you're always looking for that next thing, just to take the existing thing and tweak it forward a little bit. And I feel like that's a lot of what I do as well. So, all right, good ideas there. What's a no utility liability?
No utility liability program is a program that we use really for people that we're getting a longer closing date from them, and they're worried about having to pay bills. Maybe the property's vacant, or we're going to novate it or wholesale it, or wholetail it, whatever it may be. But if we're looking for maybe a 60-day close, or even a 30-day close if they're hoping to close faster, what we do is remove any liability to the cost of actually running the property. So water, gas, any utility that they have, we will gladly take them over and pay it, so that they're not like stressing, oh man, well, here's another $200 there, or whatever it may be. Some people in these situations, that's a significant game changer for them, over a 60-day period of what they might spend. And there's even been times where, we'll take over that mortgage payment for those 2 months to make sure that we can get it to the finish line, and that will be the option of the deal, and they don't feel any more headaches on that side of it. So we like to come up with catchy names for programs, so that, when we say them to the seller, they're like, oh, that sounds like a cool program. So, no utility liability program was just a neat little thing that we had, and it's worked many times.
Yeah, this is one thing that I learned from Jerry Green too. he doesn't say, I might have another option for you. He says, we have another program available, right?
Yeah.
It makes it sound very official, and you're doing the same thing. Because as a small kind of company, you might have some ideas and you might have the ability to make offers in a few different ways. But when you start calling them programs, it makes you sound very official, like you've already dealt with it before.
I've got 35 programs in my sleeve. Like, you don't even understand. If I, I got a veterans program, and anything that I can really, focus on those individuals and make sure that there's value there, because people, what they have in their house or what they've done in their lives, there's different things that they've done, that they're just really proud of. And there's some jobs they do are tough, and to acknowledge those things, in the pandemic, we came up with a long road trucker program. We dealt with 2 truckers that both had properties, and it was a really tough time for that business in operation. And we were like, hey, we're at the end of this, we'll give you instead of our normal $100 for making a video, we'll do $1,500 for our long road trucker program. And but people love that stuff, man, and they appreciate you understanding and listening to what they've told you. Because if someone spends an hour telling you about long road trucking, there's a reason that they did it. And it means something to them. It's why they spoke about it for so long and cared about it. So listen and pay attention, because that's what people are really, your best listeners are your best salesmen. Because don't over talk your sellers. It's very painful for them. They want to talk. They want to share with you, and you just need to be there to listen.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I got a few more questions and we're almost out of time. So for anyone that is just starting out or doing deals not regularly, just like one every here and there, what's the best tip you can give them if they want to try to go from like 1 or 2 deals a year to like 1 or 2 a month?
I mean, I'm going to go back to where my scary part is you got to spend money and make money. If it's one of my scariest things, we talked about it. I hired a COO in November, and it was, man, nut to crack that I wasn't sure I was ready for. But there's lots of different times where you think you're going to build a business to get ready to spend the money. But if you don't spend the money, you're not going to be able to build the business that you're hoping to build. And you'll never get to that point. And it's risky and it's scary, and it is lots of different things. But if you want to change that, you're going to have to generate leads, and to generate good quality leads, you're going to have to spend money. And that could be lists, that could be mail, that could be different ways. But save that cash that you made doing those 2 to 3 deals. Don't get cash rich off of a $30,000 paycheck or a $10,000 paycheck, and take that money and put it back into your business. I take 20% of our net profit goes back to our business every quarter, so we can do new cool fun things and grow our operation or cash. And even as a one person wholesaler, you should do the same thing.
Dude, that's a great tip right there, because I think everyone that's out on your own, whether you're just starting out or you have real business now, I think inherently you always think that I will spend this or I will do this when I get to, which 100%. Usually means you got to do it today. You got to be uncomfortable doing it if you know it's the right move, right? It's scary to do a lot of times, but you have to do that. You have to spend that money, press that order button for that kind of marketing or higher, right?
100%. Yeah. My one of my good friends, Nick, he's our main retail agent. And he keeps telling me for the last 6 months, he's like, man, I'm going to hire this assistant. So to help me with listings, I'm going to hire this assistant. And I'm like, dude, we were playing golf last week. And I was like, bro, he was complaining about having to leave after 9. And I was like, you're going to grow your business once you hire the assistant. The struggle is that you're doing the work that the assistant should be doing, and you can take that time and be growing your business. But you got to take the chance and spend that money. And it's scary, but it's a big decision, and it'll change your life drastically.
Absolutely.
And your business.
Yep, absolutely. All right, 2 more questions and then we'll be done. One, do you have a book recommendation? 1 book or 2 books that you would give everyone to read?
So I'm in the midst of reading I can't think of the title right now. It's by David Goggins.
It hurt me.
Yes, and I'm in the midst. I'm not like I'm an audio book guy.
Yep.
I listen to them. I listen to books in the car on Audible because for me, I'll be honest, when I read, it's usually at the end of the day, and if I get comfy in my bed, like and I open up a book, I'll get like my mind doesn't work like some people's. Like I need to hear it. If I start reading it, it's just like studying in school. I'll forget what I read the next day. But that David Goggins book, again, I'm a big mindset guy, so like that stuff that go hard, push through whatever you got to push through. Challenges and obstacles is just part of life, and you got to overcome it. Don't be a lazy shit, and work your butt off. And that whole his story is really awesome as well. But the mindset game of really being able to overcome obstacles and challenges is truthfully, I'm 3/4 of the way through, and it's one of my favorite books I've listened to. So get out there and listen to it if you haven't, or read it yourself. It's pretty cool.
Especially because he's the narrator. It was real cool. I like that book a lot. I blew through it in a couple hours.
Them chatting like after the end of the chapters was pretty cool to hear them communicating and talking about like going a little deeper. So that's kind of neat too.
Yeah, absolutely. I lied. 2 more questions. What does your team look like now? How many people you got, and like what are the positions? Just for everyone wondering out there.
Yeah. So we have Rick, who's our director of operations / COO. Kelsey, she is director of administration. She handles a lot of title work, making sure things get to the closing table. We have Julia. She's our administrative assistant. She's Kelsey's assistant. We have Scott, who's the director of lead gen and marketing. Then we have Nico, who is the acquisitions agent. We just brought on another acquisitions agent. Little different idea there. So again, kind of a different opportunity. I'll be able to get back with you guys and check it because it could be a monster opportunity. And then we have 2 VAs that also work with us. And so that's really what the team looks like right now. And then Nick, our retail agent that really is part of the team as well.
Dude, you guys are rocking and rolling with a relatively tight team. I like that.
Yeah, right. 8 people.
That's all. All right, last one. What is your BHAG, your big, hairy, audacious goal? Where do you want to get to in the future? Why do you do everything that you do?
Honestly, my biggest goal is I really, really, really enjoy public speaking. So that's really something I would like to do. But even cooler than that, I have such an incredible team. And I think we've spent a lot of time building our systems and processes over this time and really learning the ins and outs of the business. I'd like my people to be able to go make money with some consulting sides of things. So that's an awesome goal for me, is to see like Rick be able to do some consulting as operations manager within this business and make extra money. Kelsey be able to, talk about, the administrative side and transactional stuff that can be really helpful to individuals. And then Scott be able to talk about lead gen and marketing and then be able to capitalize that and market it. And then I would really like to have that business plan in place to open a few satellite offices in different places that I would like to live. So that's my goal. My goal is to retire by the time I'm 45. So I got 11 more years, and I'd like to be able to have, 3 to 4 more offices. And if it works, really, really begin to franchise the company and make it scalable. I think that's one of the tougher things most people deal with in this industry is scaling a business and being able to recreate it in different places. And I feel like we're really digging into those things and making it a real true possibility coming up here in the future.
That's awesome, man. I love it. You got big plans for yourself, and I know you're going to hit them, dude. Well, man.
Thanks, brother. I
appreciate all your time today. You dropped a lot of valuable information. Been an inspiration for a lot of people who want to jump out on their own. So I appreciate you sharing everything you have. And then just one quick announcement before we go, guys. I just posted down in the comments from a video before, but I've had a lot of people asking me about coaching, mentorship, that kind of thing. And I'm launching a small group. So I posted the link on an earlier video. If you're interested in that kind of thing, it's only for a select amount of people, but I did post in the video before, so let me know if you're interested. But thanks so much for showing up today, guys. Erik's been awesome talking to you. I can't wait to see you in a few weeks, bro.
Thanks so much, man. See you in Dallas, brother.
Yes, sir. All right, you guys have a great day. Talk to you soon.